I'm Eric Green, partner at Green and Sklar, a boutique tax law firm and founder of the tax resolution training organization, Tax Rep LLC. Welcome to another edition of Tax Rep Network podcast. I want to thank our sponsors, Tax Help Software and Call ENQ. We've only taken podcast sponsors of products that we actually use at Green and Sklar. Call ENQ is what allows us to call the government and get into the IRS in under 3 minutes. Tax Help Software is what we use to pull transcripts. It's our intelligent ordering where we track what's going on with our clients overnight. So in the morning, we know of anything that's happened on the IRS side, and also what we use for our resolution forms, our offers, installment agreements, uncollectible powers of attorney, all of that. Our sponsors have special offers for you. If you want to check them out, go to taxrepllc.com, resources, and TRN podcast page to view the sponsor offers. Enjoy the episode. So for this week's podcast, I made a decision to respond to a lot of folks who've been emailing me. And the emails, they're sort of all over the place, but there is a common theme. And so what I thought I would talk to you about today are sort of the 8 things that I think are the secret to life and practice. And I just want to, preface this by saying, I am not a motivational speaker. It's not what I do. I don't, perceive myself to be a motivational speaker. But there are some things that I've just learned. Now, if you've listened to the podcast, I've dropped a lot of this stuff. I've had folks on who are sort of my guru, go-to people. I'm bringing more on in the near future. But I get asked about, how do I stay motivated to building the practice? What did it take for me to go out on my own and all kinds of stuff. So I started listing all of the questions and answering them. And I came up with really 8 things. These are 8 secrets. They're not really secrets, but they're my 8 things that you need to do to succeed, whether it's in business or life, okay? And I'm just going to list them, and then I'm going to give you what my thoughts are on them, all right? Number 1, wake up early. 2, eat real food. 3, drink water, a lot of it. 4, relax. 5 is sleep. 6, read every day. 7, be fearless. And 8, seek out help. All right? Wake up early, eat real food, drink water, relax, sleep, read, be fearless, and seek out help. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean by each of these. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't. But and by the way, if you don't if you do, feel free to keep emailing. All right, email us. We love getting the emails. All right, wake up early. The easiest way for you to build a practice. I built a practice on the side. Right, I built my practice on the side of my day job. How do you do that? Well, you get up at 4:30 in the morning and you get stuff done until 7:30 or 8 in the morning, when then you have to go to your other job. If you can put 15 hours a week into your side hustle, all right, or if you can put 15 hours of marketing a week, actually, it's probably overkill. It's too much. All right. But when people would email and say, Eric, I don't have time. Eric, I really don't have time. For those of you who've emailed me, you might have noticed my responses to you are getting a little bit short. All right. And it used to be kind of a, hey, don't worry, you can do this, you can find time. My answers now, the last one I sent this week was, all right, everyone's got time. Turn the TV off and put the fucking phone down. You've got time. All right. Everyone has time. Right. If it's a priority, you've got time. What you're telling me is it's not really a priority. You sort of want it, but you don't really want it. Find the time, make the time. And the best time to do it for me is to get up early. No one's bothering me. I'm not answering the phone. I can ignore my emails. And basically, I can get after it. And I can start working on my brand, my marketing, my new business, whatever. All right. You can work on it. There's time. All right. You can carve out time. The other thing is eat real food. right? Everyone's struggling with their weight. You may have noticed I've dropped a bunch of weight. The greatest advice I ever got, and I'm actually going to have her on the program. She's technically a financial advisor, but she also just happens to be a nutritionist, to professional athletes and stars. All right. I'm going to have Kristen Erickson on the program at some point. I've spoken to her about it. She's game to come on. But when I was struggling with this, she said, if it's easy, forget about keto and all that stuff. She said, just eat real food. All right. Just eat real food. If it comes in a bag or a box, don't eat it. All right. And I got to tell you, it's the simplest strategy in the world. Just eat real food. I don't even bother with portions, right? Just eat real food, because what you'll find is if you eat real food, you're less likely to binge on it. I don't know when the last time you binged on fruit. And that was the other thing I remember saying to her, well, should I eat fruit because it has sugar? She's like, no one ever got obese eating fruit, all right? If you eat too much fruit, you'll know it because it'll go right through you and upset your stomach, all right? Just eat real food. Don't overthink the diet, because the diet causes stress and now you're focused on it. There's enough to be focused on. Okay. Drink water, a lot of it. All right. If you drink water, it'll kill your appetite for the other stuff. If you drink water, you'll flush your system. You will lose weight just from drinking water. All right. And on that note, cut out soda. Diet, regular, doesn't matter. It is horrible for you. Get rid of that. All right. Relax. You need to find time to relax. Stress causes a lot of the weight gain, a lot of just the stress that we carry around. We're short with our families at home. We're not present. You need to de-stress. You got to find something to de-stress. I was complaining to Kristen that, of course I have stress. I've got Tax Rep Network. I've got 23 people here at the firm that I'm keeping busy. I'm doing the marketing for the firm, overseeing the stuff at the firm. I'm answering all my Tax Rep members' questions. I'm helping them build their practices. I'm creating more content. We're a little busy. And my wife is telling me I'm not really present even when I'm home. And she said, you got to relax. And she mentions, have you ever tried floating? Like, what the hell is floating? Floating is, and we have one right here in New Haven. I've gone several times now. It's where you go to, it's like a chamber, like a small room. And then they also have like these pods, depending where you go. And you get into it and you could pick different colors of the lights, or you could be in the dark. And you could listen to music or nothing at all. And you literally float. It's about 10 inches of water with 1,000 pounds of, I think it's balsam salts or whatever it is that's dumped into it. I'm sure I'm butchering that. But basically, if any of you have ever been to the Dead Sea, it's like that. It makes the water sort of oily, but you literally float on it. It is incredibly relaxing. Now you have to figure out what works for you. The first time I was in the dark, no music, I'm going hardcore. Like 30 minutes in, I was like, I got to get the hell out of here. Like, it made me nuts. However, an hour later, even with that, an hour later, I was super, super relaxed. So the next time I went, I told them to put the blue light, like this dark blue light, and I listened to their relaxation mix. And an hour went by like nothing. And you were so relaxed for days afterward. Maybe it's a relaxation tape. I know there are apps like Headspace. You need to figure out a way to relax. Part of it is I'm forcing myself now to read. I'm reading not tax stuff, professional stuff. I'm actually reading about Andrew Carnegie right now. I think the book is called Titan. Titan, I think is about Rockefeller, which is my next book up. I'm reading about Andrew Carnegie right now. Now, if you're wondering what to read, books that are good for you, but aren't necessarily tax, right? So you can just take a break from work, but still get some good stuff. All right. I'm going to put a link down below to Tom Bilyeu's reading list. Now, Tom Bilyeu, if you don't know, founded Quest Protein. For those of you who've ever had the bars or the powders, I use the Quest vanilla milkshake powder. Sometimes in my morning, I make iced coffee, throw in 2 scoops of that and blend it. It tastes like a Frappuccino, except it has no sugar and 42 or 43 grams of protein. It's unbelievable. And by the way, I watched someone doing it on Facebook, some like workout dude, and I was like, oh my God, what a great idea. It's awesome. Anyway, so Tom has his own podcast and their videos you can watch on YouTube called Impact Theory. And he also has one now, Health Theory. They're cool. He has some really cool guests on. I highly recommend you check out his stuff. But he put out a reading list, and the books on there are fantastic books to read. I will give you a link to that, but I'm going to also suggest a couple of additions to that list, right? One of which is a book called The Third Door by Alex Banayan. And it's a little bit crazy. It's a book. He was a pre-med student who really wanted to read about all of these successful people and found that there were no books on how they did it. There were books about them biographically, but none went into really how they managed to become successful. Steven Spielberg, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, he ends up interviewing like crazily. He goes on this like 7-year journey where he ends up interviewing all of these people. David Letterman, not David Letterman. I'm mind blanking now. Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey. He ends up interviewing all these crazy successful people, and half the book is fascinating just how he even got the interviews. So The Third Door by Alex Banayan, I highly recommend, because it will show you that if you have the will, you can accomplish anything you want. Not only his own journey, but the interviews of the people that he met with. Okay. The other one I'm going to recommend to you, which is recommended to me by one of my tax rep members, is a book called Alter Ego by Todd Herman. All right. That is also a fantastic book. I think you will get a lot out of it. But you want to try to read, if you look into it, Warren Buffett, go to bed, his quote, go to bed a little smarter each day. He reads 500 pages a day. I don't know that you need to do that, but you want to be expanding your universe. And I think business reading, meaning non-tax technical reading, is a good thing. All right. It gives you ideas for your business. It just shows you what other people have done. I find it extremely helpful. It really, really is. Now, sleep. You need to sleep. I tell you, I'm up at 4:30, right? I'm up at 4:30. You're probably thinking, well, Eric's some freaking alien, right? He's like some other life form. No, I just get into bed at about 9:30. I don't watch I don't watch TV. All right. I am not a TV person. And it's a true story. My son came up to me about 2 months ago and asked me when we were going to replace the universal remote. The universal remote was broken. He's been using, there's an app on his phone that he can use. And I'm like, when did it break? He said about 3 months ago. I don't watch TV. All right. I don't have shows. To give you an example, I've never watched Breaking Bad. And the reason I picked that one is everyone's always amazed. What do you mean you haven't watched? I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the other one about Get Saul or whatever. I don't watch TV. I've heard of them. I don't watch TV. Right? I go to bed. I get up in the morning. I get my workout done, and I get my work done. All right? I get done the things I want to get done. I block out those things that I need to get done. So by 10, 11, noon, now I've gotten done what I need to get done. The work is going to go out the door. I've reviewed and given back comments to my associates on what they're working on. And in the afternoon, now I can, pick up and fill in. I can respond to people. I can take phone calls and do those sorts of things. Right. But I've got it. There's a certain amount of work that just got to get done. You probably felt this way. You come into work, you're crazy all day. It's now 6 p.m. and nothing got done, meaning no work got out the door. What you need to do is carve out time, block out time. The way I tell you to block out time for marketing, Same thing. In the morning, I'm going to get my work done. I'm not going to sit and get on sucked into phone calls. If you call here at 9:30 and ask for me, you're not going to get me. You'll get to my assistant. Nicole will take the information. She'll circulate it among the team, but you're not getting me on the phone. I got work to do. I'll return the call later, or somebody here will return the call later, right? That is a discipline you need, because by doing that, now at 6 p.m. when I walk out the door, stuff got done. In fact, by noon, stuff got done, right? And by the way, in terms of relaxing, I go and float, not every week, but I leave and go over to the Omni and I go floating. The Omni Hotel here is where Ripple, it's the spa where I go floating. I leave and go floating. I can carve out that time in my afternoon. Why? Because I had the discipline to get up in the morning and get work done. Okay. Be fearless. Now, what I mean by fearless is a lot of people are afraid. They're afraid of criticism. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid. You got to get over that. You got to be fearless. Okay. And I'll tell you this, it's very real. I was in around 2002 is when firms began downsizing. And I got downsized twice within a year and a half by big accounting firms. And at some point, I just realized I would never have security until I built my own practice. He who has the gold makes the rules. The rainmakers, they don't get laid off, right? As a rainmaker, I can listen. I love my partners. We're friends a long time. But if they showed up right now and threw me out of Green and Sklar's, I'd grab my wife's picture, leave. I'd email my clients tonight. I'd be in business tomorrow, right? My clients are coming with me, right? I'm not going anywhere, all right? And I'm not suggesting that they would throw me out. I hope they're not going to throw me out, and I don't want to throw them out. The point being, that is how you get job security. Going and working for somebody else is not job security. It's the illusion of security. You have job security when you build your own machine, and that machine just day after day, week after week, month after month, churns out money like an ATM machine. All right. It's like a printing press, but it takes time to get there. You need to put yourself out there to do it. So when I first created the idea for the training program that is now it's sort of the basis for Tax Rep, initially, I went to CCH, and CCH saw what I saw, and this was the IRS Representation Certificate Program with CCH. I ended up having like nightmares before I went to record this, because I'm like, they're going to put this out there. My face and name are attached to it. I'm going to look like an idiot, right? There are people in the country that do this as well or better than I do. And I began talking myself out of doing it. And what it comes down to, or what I kind of concluded, is I need to do this. It's sort of like the, go in or go home, right? I need to go in and just be brave and do this. Or I have to go home and admit I'm not going to do it. And I wasn't going home without it. All right. I wanted the practice. I wanted the reputation. I wanted the money. And there's only one way to do it, is to go out there and get it. And so it's either go get it or go home. And I'm not going home, not without it. And so I would urge you to put yourself out there, whether it's your YouTube videos, your blog. You don't have to be smarter than everyone else in the country. You don't even have to be smarter than everyone else in the room. You just have to know enough so that the people on the other side, your potential clients, know that you know what you're doing. Now, I would urge you, if you don't feel comfortable with something, roll up your sleeves and dive into it. Between our training, go get the BNA portfolios. You can get them at any law library. You can buy them if you want to spend the money, and read up on a topic. Right? With the internet today, you can find anything on anything. All right. So if you don't feel comfortable with, tax liens, there's a lot of stuff you can read on tax liens. The IRS has publications. There are tons of articles. Go read up, pull the statute. It's not that hard. It'll probably take you a couple hours. and make yourself an expert in liens. All right. But to really truly build your practice, to actually be rich. And I'm not just talking about money rich. I'm talking about time, be able to do what you want, manage your own life the way you want to. The only way to do that is build a business. And the only way to do that is to put yourself out there. So I would urge you to be fearless. All right. And what I mean by fearless is just putting yourself out there and going for it. All right. Yeah. Right. There's no such, you're only a failure when you give up. The fact that you fail, okay, you tried something, didn't work. Try something else, and you keep going with it. All right. And don't worry about what everyone else says. All right. Be fearless. Last, don't be afraid to seek out help. All right. If you want to go back and listen to the podcast episodes, I've had Brent Robertson on. Right. Brent was extremely helpful in helping me get my thoughts together. Right. Sandy Leva, many of you know, helps me with my marketing and on the technical side. Clemens does my design and technical stuff. Originally, I was doing like everything myself. And at some point, I realized I can't be a jack of all trades. Everything will always be just mediocre. I need to focus on what I do and go get help, right? Kristen Erickson, who I'm going to bring on. I mean, I was a competitive powerlifter. I played college football. I know about fitness. I know about diet. Clearly, I'm not managing this properly. Go get help. Go find the experts in it and bring them in, right? It's okay to build a board of directors that bring, and your board of directors, you don't want people who only have the same skill as you do. You want other skill sets that will complement you and help you, right? So don't be afraid to go and get help. TaxRep Network at its core is a help desk for you. If you want to add 100,000 to your bottom line, or even $1 million to your bottom line, should you go and read every book and become an expert in everything, tax representation? If you're going to wait to do that, you'll be retired and dead before it happens. Go launch, and then if you guys have questions, that's what we're here for. You don't have to be an expert. We will help you, and you'll learn, right? And you'll get better and better and better at it just by doing it, right? And this goes for anything, right? The way that you move yourself, right, to a different level is by surrounding yourself with people that are better at it, whatever that it is, right? The old saying, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Yeah, that's true. All right. You want to surround yourself with people that are going to push you, right? It's going to, and this is, I think it's either Tony Robbins or Ed Milet talked about this on their podcast, that identity is sort of like, it's like a thermostat on the wall. Okay. And let's say yours is set at 80 degrees. And if we just open up the doors and windows and let the blizzard of life, the worst things in life, come in and hit that, right? It'll drive the temperature down. That thermostat will kick on and heat you back up to 80 degrees. The reverse is the same. It's really getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Good things are happening, opportunities everywhere for you, and things are really, really going well. If you can't change that identity, which is like almost like resetting that, over time, you will cool back down to 80 degrees. So how do you move that? You surround yourself with people that are better. It doesn't matter. Fitness, right? If you start working out with people that are fitter and stronger, and they will push you and they will heat you up somewhere between where you are and they are. Same in finances, same in religion, same in everything. All right. If I want to become a better salesperson, to go to meetings where there are top salespeople and take lessons and listen without even meaning to, it's like through osmosis. You'll begin to see opportunities and see things that you didn't see before, because just listening to them. I go to ABA tax meetings and the Tax Controversy Institute, and these are generally in my area, these are sort of niche groups, but I'm sitting and I'm talking to people that also do nothing but this. are former DOJ lawyers, former IRS counsel, and then talking about cases and this and that and stories. I just learned something. Or gee, when that comes by later, I recognize something. I also expand my network, people I can reach out to. Okay? You don't be afraid to go seek out help. Don't be afraid to try to push yourself to the next level, right? Wherever you are, you're perfect for where you are right now. The evidence of that is you've created the life that you've created for yourself. But if you want a better life, a richer life, to go to wherever you are to the next level beyond that, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. But one of the ways that you can do it and learn is to surround yourself with people that will move that needle, right? So go get involved in organizations, go meet mentors, and don't be afraid to ask for help. All right. So this week's podcast, a little bit different, I admit it. The 8 Secrets to Life, according to Eric Green. You don't have to agree with me. But if you want my 2 cents, and many of you have been asking in kind of different ways, so I'm giving you my 2 cents. Wake up early, all right? Win the day early on, all right? Wake up, have your coffee, have your water, very important. Get your workout in, and then put your head down and get the stuff done you need to get done while you're fresh. You can spend the afternoon doing marketing and returning phone calls, right? I know the phone is ringing at 9 a.m. You don't have to answer it. They can wait. Get stuff done. Right? Plus, it'll take stress off you, right? Eat real food, whatever processed junk that you like, limit it to a once every now and then splurge. Otherwise, and by the way, when you do that, you're going to find you don't like it very much because you're going to feel like crap after you eat it. Drink a lot of water. All right? It's good for you. It'll fill you up. It'll make the losing weight, healthier eating much easier. Relax. Find a way to relax. Go try floating if you want. Relaxation tapes. Take a walk. Spend time with your family. Carve out time for that. It is important. Sleep. Right? Get your ass into bed at a reasonable hour. Sleep is important. I know everyone thinks, well, we'll cut back on sleep. Machismo. I'll cut back on sleep. I'll just grind it through. Right? You're not going to be thinking straight. You're going to be exhausted. And by the way, when that happens, you start eating like crap, and then you feel like worse. Right? You feel worse afterward. Get sleep. Read something. It can be fun things, but read every day. Go to bed a little smarter. Like Warren Buffett said, go to bed a little smarter than when you woke up. Right? Be fearless. When it comes to your marketing, comes to whether you're going to speak or write or whatever, be fearless. And by the way, on that note, definitely read that book, Alter Ego. You will find it helpful about how people, some very famous people, had to find alter egos to go out on stage, whatever stage that was, and accomplish what they did. All right. So definitely read Alter Ego when you're reading, but be fearless and don't be afraid to seek out help. And as part of that, not just get help from people for an immediate problem, but look at who you're hanging around with. If you want to see your future, look at your friends. You may have to change the circles that you're running in, right? Whether individually, personally, or professionally, right? But go and be aware of your surroundings and put yourself so you're not the smartest person in the room, but that way you learn and you'll get smarter. And when you do, and you are the smartest person in the room, move to the next room. All right. So listen. Thanks for listening in. I hope this helps somebody. If it doesn't, I'm sorry I wasted your podcast this week, but I'll be tune in next week, and we'll keep going here. Keep building your practice. Go check out the reading list I'm going to put below in the other links, and I'll see you inside Tax Rep. Thanks, guys.
If you haven't already subscribed to the Tax Rep Network podcast, go to taxrepllc.com, mouse over resources, and click TRN podcast. You'll get an account loaded with all the episodes, our sponsor offers, and transcripts of recent podcast episodes. Thanks for listening, and thanks again to our sponsors, Call ENQ and Tax Help Software. See you on the next episode.
So guys, for those of you who have been asking about getting together live and doing a workshop together, we heard you and we're doing it. Roger Nemeth from Tax Help Software, and Michelle Weinstein from The Abundant Accountant, and I, Eric Green from Tax Rep Network, are going to be doing our first Tax Rep Network conference. It will be live, only live, at the Suncoast Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, December 13th and 14th. For 2 full days, we're going to work through case studies together, offers and compromise, managing the cases, challenging a collection statute expiration date, going through the various installment agreements, how to complete the forms, and where to find clients and how to bill for this. All right. Hence Michelle's, involvement in this, right? She is going to be talking about where to find clients and how to bill for this service. So it's 2 full days. All right. There's a handful of seats left. All right. The early bird is still going on. So I'll put the link down below, or you can go to taxrepllc.com, go to the events page. The last one at the bottom is the Tax Rep Network Conference. All right. So we're going to have 2 great days in Vegas. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to have skills to go back and make some money at your firm, and we'll have a lot of fun too. So go ahead, join us, click on the link, and we'll see you in Vegas.